What's up, everyone? Welcome to another edition of the Double D Podcast, the Davram Download. I am Davram from Davram Gaming. Hope everyone's doing well. And we got an announcement yesterday from our folks over on the streaming platform that I'm on just about every day, Twitch TV. Announced that they were going to revamp their community guidelines, specifically in two locations this time. They're doing a full rework of their community guidelines, but they're tackling two of the big ones today, which will go in effect, I believe, next weekend. And I'll explain why they're basically delaying it for an entire week. There is a reason for that. But what I wanted to do is talk about these changes, what I thought about the changes, which in general I think are good, and then more so give you the link, which will be in the description below, for you to review it, because ultimately it's not just the broadcaster that needs to be careful about this, but also the viewers. So for a long time, people have came to Twitch to get their content out, but other streaming platforms have came up like Hitbox and Beam, which is now Mixer, Caffeine, Live.me. So many content creation sites have came up. Several of them, specifically Mixer, have a much more aggressive enforcement and content policy or conduct policy than Twitch does. And first off, conduct policies are very important, but with the size of Twitch, it's hard to enforce all that. And that's what I believe they're trying to work on here, is really hone down their conduct policy and saying, look, these things are not tolerated here on this platform, and more so, we're going to enforce it to the letter now, because things are much more spelled out. So the first thing that they revamped here is what they call the harassment or the hateful conduct section. Now, there is a group of I guess they call it a protected group of individuals. They've expanded that group now. I'm not sure what the old group looked like, but they've expanded the group now, and I'm going to read down through the group of characteristics or things like that which put you in a protected group, right? Which, to be honest, covers just about everyone. So this is the list now. So you cannot conduct yourself in a hateful or demeaning or offensive way towards anyone because of race, religion, national origin, ethnicity, sex, gender or gender identity, sexual orientation, age. No more calling people old. Nope. Can't do it. Disability or medical concern. So someone who maybe be disabled, maybe something because of an accident or disability, something obviously observed, maybe a speech impediment or something like that. Can't do it. Don't make fun of them. Don't say anything. Treat them as you want to be treated, as a person, because they are people and they're trying to provide entertainment. And in general, what I've seen, they do a damn good job of it. So we need to respect those folks who might not be like us. They might not fulfill our view of who we want to watch. Well, there's plenty of channels out there. If you don't like someone for any of the things that I've read and a few more that I'm going to read, find another channel. That's the easiest way and the safest way. Find someone you enjoy. Allow these folks to produce content for the folks who do enjoy watching them. Physical characteristics. No more fat jokes, no more skinny jokes, no more blonde hair comments, anything like that. No physical characteristics should be called out in any way, shape, or form for the content creator or the viewer. If someone maybe sees on Instagram, one of the viewers has the same Instagram account that they follow, you can't call that stuff out. You have to be respectful to them. For example, I'm a bigger dude. I get a lot of comments about being fat. I have bad skin because I used to work outside a lot and my face got roasted multiple times. I can't help that, okay? It was part of my job at the time. This is how I look. Some days is good, some days is bad. But I get a lot of comments like pizza face or fat guy or ew, you look like you're going through puberty and have pimples all over. You know what? You can't do it anymore. You will get banned. Your account could permanently be banned or at least suspended indefinitely. So just treat people with respect. Again, if you don't like what you're seeing, you don't like what you're watching, move right along down the line. Veteran status. Enough said there. Twitch will now consider a number of factors in determining intent and content of reported hateful conduct. So one thing that they've called out in their town hall and in today is Friday the 9th of February 2018, in their Twitch Weekly section that they did today, which you can watch at twitch.tv/twitch. You can see those VODs. They will now be reviewing the entirety of the broadcast, not just the specific section that was reported. The reason they will be reviewing the entirety of that broadcast is because they want to see if there was something that egged on the comment, if the broadcaster's promoting the comment, if there was something going on which could be causing this particular event. Right? And the reason they're doing that is because context is very important. Maybe it was a comment about the game that was going on, someone making comment about a character in the game, okay? That's fine. If you want to make a comment about a character in a game, that's okay, in the context of the game, and so long as it doesn't continue outside of what's going on there. You want to be very careful that what you say is very specific and it's directed towards the game, not the broadcaster, not another individual on the channel. Furthermore, they called out the fact that they will not accept the concept of make fun of you. Oh, just kidding, just kidding, just kidding. Saying just kidding or JK or whatever you want to say after an offensive comment is not a free pass for the offensive comment. You need to get the offensive comment out of your system and treat people with respect. Yes, there are a whole concept of people out there, well, go to your safe bubble. There shouldn't be a concept or even comment about a safe bubble. You should treat people how you want to be treated. If you don't want someone calling you names or calling out a specific characteristic about you, then you shouldn't be doing it to other people. Stop hiding behind the keyboard. Stop hiding behind the screen. Be a human being everywhere. They go on with this, with the harassment, and they spell out specific concepts of this harassment. So bullying, such as repeated name calling or attempts to embarrass someone with the intent of harm. So again, you don't want to embarrass or harass someone in that way. This includes clips and highlights. And that's what we'll talk about here in a minute, why this doesn't go into effect for a while. You should not be looking out for ways to humiliate the broadcaster for maybe a slip up of what they said or what they did, and to clip something just to humiliate them. That is considered harassment and will be enforced very harshly now. Abusing someone based on their employer, organization, or affiliation. Well, I'm not quite sure why you would know who they're working for unless they are actually broadcasting from a specific business's channel. Either way, not acceptable. Telling someone to hurt or kill themselves. I see this all the time in some of the very big streams that are very aggressive broadcasters. You know, they tell people to go kill themselves, to go, whatever. Unacceptable. It's unacceptable behavior, and it's one reason why a lot of these big names that I see everywhere on Twitch stream fails, live stream fails, and stuff like that. When I see someone out there who's aggressively harassing or saying something offensive or telling someone to kill themselves or hurt themselves, I will immediately write down that name and make sure I never tune into their channel. Well, now Twitch is going to make sure that they don't have a channel. So be very careful. If you're a viewer, be very careful in what you say and make sure you're not telling the content creator or another viewer to hurt themselves or kill themselves in any way. It's just being a human being, because your account will be gone. Creating user accounts dedicated for harassment or hate. So getting around the concept of trying not to get your account banned, but still performing horrible and evil things in chat or as a broadcaster. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't try to get around the system. You're going to get caught. Stalking or violating someone's personal boundaries, things like attempting to send the cops to someone's house, trying to find someone in real life because we have the IRL streams. Just don't do it, right? Treat people with respect. Again, your broadcasters are out there. We're out here trying to provide content for you, and sometimes those broadcasters do unfortunately put themselves into poor situations. So if you are a content creator, think about what you do. It's not about becoming famous, about doing something stupid, right? Because obviously if you're putting yourself in a poor situation, there might not be much protection from you. Revealing someone's personal information against their will with an intent to harm. So again, this is if you maybe you have a friend or or something like that you've met as a viewer. Maybe and I'm completely against this. I would never do this. I would never give my personal information to a viewer ever. I don't care who they are. I don't care. If I don't know you in real life, you are not getting my personal information. That is to protect me. But some people out there, specifically, I've seen a lot of younger broadcasters give out their personal information. Maybe, oh, I'm so in love with this person. I've chatted with them on Discord. Oh, I'm going to move and we're going to fall in love. Don't do it. Protect yourself. Okay. No matter if you have 0 viewers, 1 viewer, or thousands of viewers, right? You are an online personality, and you need to protect yourself, the people around you, your family, your home, your personal possessions. Don't give out your personal information. But if for some reason it gets leaked, the people who are leaking it are now going to be held very, very strictly and held responsible for what they do. Recording someone against their will for the intent of harm. Again, this goes back to clipping or recording the broadcast, downloading the broadcast, doing anything to embarrass or hurt the person who is making that broadcast. Just don't do it. Sharing content, including doctored or out of context content, with the intent to degrade, bully, or harm someone. There are many times that I slip up. Now, I clip myself at times when I slip up, but I try to give context on either end of the clip. If you are clipping something for a broadcaster for the hilarity of the clip, that's what the clipping system's there for big highlights in their awesome gameplay, or, derping moments, or, slips of the tongue. It happens, right? But make sure if you're clipping something, you're giving enough context on the front and the back end to make sure that people who are watching the clip understand what is going on, and it can't be misconstrued for any sort of offensive things or something like that, or embarrass the broadcaster or whatever's going on there. So just be very careful when you're clipping things, when you're sharing things out there. Just make sure you have the permission of the broadcaster to share these things, and make sure you're providing context and not just trying to, poke fun at someone's slip of the tongue or something. Browsing or raiding channels with malicious intent. I don't see this a whole lot, but it does happen. If you raid someone and tell your viewers to go in there and do something that will, and I hate this word, but trigger the broadcaster, don't do it. Twitch is going to catch you. You can be reported. Your account can be suspended. So don't do it. Unwanted sexual advancement, sexual harassment, sexual bullying. We're going to talk a minute about the second piece of this, which is the sexual conduct piece. But just don't do it. Treat people like human beings. If you can't treat someone with respect online, don't be online. Sorry. End of story. Don't be online. Deliberately submitting false reports. Okay, so this is along the lines of, if you don't like a broadcaster, if you don't like what they're saying, if you don't like what they're doing, but they're not breaking any rules, or maybe you don't like a viewer. This viewer pops in, is talking in chat, saying things that you don't like, but are not breaking rules. You can't report that. If you keep reporting things and creating these false reports to Twitch, first off, it's not allowing them to get to the people who actually need investigated on, and it's taking up their time. It's basically like calling the police for no reason, right? Don't do it. You can't call the police for no reason. Don't alert Twitch for any reason. Inciting or encouraging others to harass. So this is if you're a viewer or you're the broadcaster and you're trying to incite or get the viewer riled up to harass other people, or maybe someone makes a harassing comment and you find it funny, so you try to rile it up and keep going. Don't do that. Put a stop to it. If you might not be offended, but someone in your chat might be offended, and you are responsible for the content and the chat that's going on in your broadcast. If you need to, turn slow-mo on. If you can't, if it's going too fast for you, turn auto mod on. Have moderators, promote more moderators, talk with your moderators, sit down with a meeting with your moderators and teach them what to look for. Make sure you're doing everything you can to keep your channel in control. You are responsible for what goes on. You cannot control what other people type, but you can control if that person can continue to type, or if that person messages stay in your chat or get deleted. Make sure you're doing everything you can with bots, with the auto mod feature which Twitch already has, and with moderators in your channel, to make sure you are adhering to the guidelines. You are responsible as the content creator. There's some other great pieces in here that they talk about how to report in FAQs. So please do read this. Again, this is going to be Twitch TV/P/legal/community space guidelines. This is harassment section. The link will be below, so you don't have to remember that. The second piece of this is the sexual conduct policy, right? So one thing that a lot of people, specifically broadcasters, talk about a lot of time that they find is annoying is what we call cam girls and or booby streamers, right? So these are the thought that that a particular streamer, normally female, although men do things as well, like their shirts are very small or cut or whatever to show off muscles or whatever. You can't do it, right? You can't do things that are sexual in nature on the stream. Now, with that being said, we've got a lot of cosplayers out there. We've got a lot of folks who do like makeup tutorials. We have a lot of things like that. And we also want to make sure that our female and male broadcasters feel comfortable in what they wear. What Twitch says is make sure you are wearing something that is appropriate for what you're doing. If you're doing makeup tutorials or you're doing cosplay constructions and stuff like that, make sure whatever you're wearing is appropriate for what you're doing. If you're doing body paint and stuff like that, that is completely okay, and you're allowed to do that as long as you're not showing anything inappropriate. This is where they're going to be watching the entire broadcast. They want to see context. They want to see where your camera angles are. Again, if your camera is angled right at your boobage and your cleavage and you're starting to cut off your head and stuff like that, or maybe it's angled at your crotch if you're sitting on the ground and you're doing something, you know, there are things like accidents where you bump the camera or something like that and it happens to bump to an angle that is not appropriate. That's why you watch the entire broadcast. Is the person consistently making sure that camera is hitting inappropriate and sexually inviting things, or is it an accident where the camera gets kicked or something? So again, if you're a creator that's in real life, or you're a creator that's a creative creator, or you're just a gamer and you're just wearing something, you know, that you feel comfortable in, make sure you have appropriate camera angles. Make sure that camera is appropriate the entire stream. Accidents happen, but make sure if an accident does happen, you're fixing it immediately. Because if this becomes a issue and this becomes something that's happening often, or you get reported for it and Twitch doesn't have any defense for you because your camera's angled at your crotch or your boobies or your muscles or whatever, the entire stream, they're not going to feel remorse for you. So I'm hoping that this particular piece, a lot of times, folks that I knew from Mixer and things like that, they switched to Mixer. Mixer has a very strong policy like this, to get away from the booby streamers, right? Or to get away from these sexually inviting streamers, because they feel like it tarnishes and hurts the overall stream. So ultimately, I'm glad Twitch is making these rules. There are a lot of questions coming out specifically for in real life streamers, specifically for those cosplay streamers and those makeup streamers, because they don't want their content to be hurt because of these rules. Again, Twitch will be reviewing the entire video if it gets reported, and they're going to make sure that they see the entire video, watch your camera angles, what you're doing, and making sure whatever the viewer reported as sexually explicit or nudity or whatever they're reporting it for under the sexual section of the code of conduct, they're going to make sure that it is okay in the context of the entire stream. So just make sure whatever you're doing, you're keeping it contextually proper to the code of conduct for the entire stream. Again, accidents happen. If it does, fix the accident, move on. Okay? Simple as that. Don't show off booby. Just don't do it. Anyways, thank you guys very much for listening. I hope everyone is having a great week. I hope everyone has a great weekend. Please do, if you do watch Twitch TV, if you are a broadcaster on Twitch TV, if you're a moderator, if you're any part of the Twitch TV community, please do check out the link below and make sure you are aware of the changes that are coming next week. If you're a broadcaster, they did say check your previous clips, check your previous VODs and things like that. Remove anything that's inappropriate. That could be hours upon hours of work. Just keep in mind, When this goes into effect, they may go back and see a clip if you get reported. But unless it's something that is an ongoing thing, you're not going to receive a strike. You're not going to get banned. So don't take those extra hours upon hours upon hours unless you know specifically that there is something in there and you can go and remove it. But going forward, make sure you adhere to the code of conduct to protect yourself, to protect your viewers, and to make sure our content creation stays good, stays entertaining, but stays friendly for all walks of life. I love you guys very much. Thank you very much for watching. Make sure you hit that like or subscribe button or leave me a comment in the section below, even if it is just a hi. I really appreciate your love and support. Take care of yourselves and each other. We'll see you next time.